Okay, I'm just going to jump into this because I want you to see that they're not as good as like the ones that were very, whatever. I wish you could see a time lapse of me painting certain ones. And I don't think anyone cares anyway, but I think they do actually. Who wouldn't pretend that someone cares in order to have a little talking time on the internet? So, the arrows are the only thing that needs to change, definitely, but this is going to be maybe like black and white and red and orange or brown, or just like striped feathers coming off the arrows so that you know that she's catching arrows, sprightly. This one looks better as a graphic. As you can see up close, very imperfect, but I don't give a crap because I'm not going to get anything for it, and it's still just as good as it would be in a way if I worked harder on it. This is the worst part of it. Trying to do some kind of crystal cross-section thing, and I just was like, done. That's just all. That's that. I just want you to see some originals in my possession. Here's a new one I haven't posted yet. The statement should be obvious. But who cares about a statement? That doesn't do anything or change anything now, does it? Okay. There's that one. Just so you know I have it, and I'm not going to lose it or do anything wrong with it. If it gets purchased by you, you will get it in the mail. And these, I don't even have my limit on eBay is almost exceeded of what I can ask for. But if I ever get more room, I will be uploading these for selling on eBay when that one's done, of course. And this one will be on eBay. I get rid of my trees one, my little, it was just a spring trees. I was going to do in the spring trees one, if I have a picture of it, which I don't. But I was going to put in the spring trees one a still fat baby angel statue, maybe even peeing into a fountain, like on the spring trees one. I thought that'd be funny and kind of a little bit of not just positive trees good, but fat baby angel crap in it too. And yet it would still look like a garden, and I wouldn't be peeing, but it would look like a garden, and some people would think, oh, pretty garden, and some people would think, okay, I get it. So, but that one's at a coffee shop now for the first time, and I don't know if they're going to put it up. I don't care. Well, I do care. I wanted it up, but it's just trees, and I would rather this one be up. But this isn't even really, because what's this? Sure, it's in the nebula. This is the Eagle Nebula. But, it's not the same statement as the NGC 6357A plus Carina Nebula keyhole figures. Those two together are a statement that I wanted to exist before I realized it existed. In this one, if I might as well just mention, it's really shitty drawing, but yeah, that doesn't even, that's so bad. But I was gonna, because the one my mom threw out one that was about as wide as this one, which this wide, and up here my hands, and it was my whole arm was shaded and drawn. The other arm was shaded and drawn, and they were holding monarch butterfly wings in front of the sun, and it wasn't done yet, but you could tell that the sun was going to be shining through those monarch butterfly wings. The hands were putting it back together. There were some not buildings, but rooms jutting out from the sides coming in, and it was based on another sketch I did. Anyway, that one's gone too. And it was, and there was also a root coming down here, like a not photorealistic really, but it was, I did as photorealistic as I could in oil paint. It was a root. It had a bulge and another bulge, and the cross sections eroded pieces coming off of it. And I took a picture and I copied it exactly. It looked like a root dripping down from the arms and stuff. But I guess that didn't matter, because I'm sure she just didn't want me to feel good about anything I had tried to do in the time that I was stressing her out. She wanted me to feel like you fail at art. And later she told me, I threw those paintings out because you said I should. And I'm like, no, the week before you threw them out, I begged you not to. And then she's like, well, maybe I threw them out to help you move on from something that wasn't helping you. That was supposed to be, that's another Eagle Nebula Sprite based thing, but it was gonna be her painting a forest around her, but instead I was like, rip! It's gonna be ripping a circle around her. She's gonna be ripping herself out of the painting, but it doesn't work because she's on the wrong side of the painting to be ripping herself out of it. But, there's a city she's ripping out, and it should have been painting a forest around her. That really should have been. Maybe I could change it, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It doesn't matter. That's just shit. But not, you know what I mean. Sorry. That is really nothing. It's done-ish. Whatever. Oh my god, that's so bad. I don't want the arm back like that. And it looked okay at first when his legs weren't flying, when his arm wasn't back. It just looked like a man on a anchor. The anchor's actually done in goldish, but you can't tell it's gold because I didn't put enough layers, and it's just not good. And I did that in 30 minutes. I actually filmed myself painting that, and I didn't like it, so I deleted the video, and it's stupid, so fuck that. Sorry for saying that. Look, that's another thing. Who cares? What is here? These are all crap. I tried to just redo the sunrise. That took me probably 30 minutes too. But the sunrise literally took me like 2 or 3 months, working at 5 minutes at a time. Another one I destroyed that I don't like because it's not a good statement. That never-ending story, ivory tower, and then I scribbled lines around it and gave up. But perhaps if I layer it, it'll look like, well, the never-ending story. And I was just, Earth gives birth to a star kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the spirit, like I think Earth used to be a very spiritual place, and I sometimes have fantasies of things like, honestly, the movie The Never-Ending Story was so realistic to me that I really did believe that ivory tower was like a real planet or something, or it looked like mountains parting and like the star inside the world like coming out into the sky or something, you know? So I just thought of it like that, and I was thinking, what else? Oh, and this is a ceiling tile I got from a head shop. I thought it'd be really funny to do like an alien granny shotting a 8-ball, but it just turned out, and it broke actually, the ceiling tile broke. This is another one, I don't care about that. Parents I have to talk about. This looked way better as a drawing before I finished it. And this one, like, and it was, I should have kept it a drawing. I could do that again. If you want to watch me draw this, it's very easy to draw, but if you do them randomly, certain things connected, and of course many frowns and smiles being the competitive energy, not the competitive, but like, I'm happy when you're sad, you know, that's how the world works often, you know? I think this makes sense, and it looked better as a drawing, because when it was just lines, it just looked like movement. But then once I put the color in, well, the gray in, it was just sort of like more stationary, whereas before it looked like the plasma of my mushroom trip, because it was just that, but very, very tiny, like many, many more of them in, very, like each pixel of my eye was, I was able to, like, and it was just a plasma of this hell place, and there was a lot of, like, basically sex happening everywhere, but not good sex, like terrible, horrible, disgusting sex happening all around in that mushroom trip. That was just a stage of it. And then I remember, yeah, my face was on the left, my face was, like, I was just, you know, like, there I am, what are you gonna do? I'm angry at you, looking into your eyes, and, like, judging you. Oh my god, where am I? There you are, looking into my eyes, like, excited, but it was, like, bouncing, like just in a rhythm, like not a pulse, but like it was like a beat going from back and forth as I moved my vision to see what was going on. The plasma of hallucination all here, like little organisms like closing and opening to move and stuff, like through the plasma, like lines being like dragged through the plasma. There were lots of people that weren't there. There were lots of people that were there. There was a lot of screaming of my friends laughing and shining lights into my face. And I really kind of lost all of my, like, after that I was more inside of myself for a while because I had exposed myself in many ways in that mushroom trip, screaming and stuff. 4 grams of mushrooms to myself, grade 9, I think. Or 10. No, I think it was grade 9. So, What else? Oh, I got these comics. I wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be working on a video. It's going to have a speech in it, and I lost my book with a beginning of a speech. Not a speech, but just some words that may have sounded more than just a rant. If I were to write it out and plan it, then maybe it wouldn't sound like a rant. I have some points to make, like anyone does. I don't think I'm going to be president or something. I think maybe, everyone influences people in some way if they talk to them. Like, everyone makes a difference. I don't think I've made a positive difference, though, honestly, because the bad example I've been. But this is just a comic I got at I got some comics today. There was a special great damage on my comics. Wonderful. So there was a sale at the comic book store, and I just got a few. This one's kind of cool because it's, you just expect it to be more realistic, more like real interactions between the characters of Archie. I didn't even really look at that one, but this one, when I saw it, I was thinking, you know what? I've heard of this before. I've been recommended this, and I just found this on my own, and then I was like, feminist satire, please. And then I was encouraged and decided to order one about rat girls or rat planet or something, rats, and it's like about women and they're rats or something. I thought that could be funny. And this one's serious though. But another one I got was, what was it? Oh my god, what was it? Tell me what it is. There's another one I ordered. It was not rats girls, but it was another one. Bitch planet, I think. Something like that. And I thought it was cool because maybe I could make a proper video with a proper outline, not outline, but like a well-structured statement about feminism as an empowerment to men if they do not find it threatening. You know what I mean? Feminism is not supposed to be like see this, eh? Like, look at this. There's lots of, they're trapped in a car and they're getting, I'm not, it's just, there's good pictures in here. It's just all these four women, I guess, they go through a story and they save each other somehow. There's some kind of outcome. I will have to read it. I'll tell you how it goes. I don't know, but I just wanted you to know I'm going to offer this one, Rat Thing, and Bitch Planet. I'm going to offer these comics to Lauren Southern if she somehow responds or something to my video, because it's going to be a good video if it happens. If I survive, it will, and I will consider it a good video. Who knows if it will be a good video, but I'm going to make a video about a lot of things, but feminism as not something that isn't masculinism as well. Feminism is not supposed to be looking for an advantage or claiming to be victims. It's just the state of the body makes it completely possible for women to be abused. It's just the shape of the body. They can easily take advantage of the progression of humanity by steering people. It needs to be acknowledged that women need to be a little bit more I don't mean privileged, I just mean women need to be supported in their decisions if gatekeeping, and not gatekeeping even, but just if it's to be fair, to not be able to have sex isn't an unfair thing. But to be used for sex when you don't enjoy it is unfair, I think. And I don't know. It's just, there's so much to say and I'm not saying it right, so I definitely need to think of a better way to say it. And there's more to it than that, and I guess I just have to think and make a proper video. What else did I get? This is the only one I'm really happy about for myself, because I think it's going to be good. See? And it says, in a post-industrial desert wasteland, 15-year-old Botima suddenly develops the ability to astral project to other planets while she sleeps. When she accidentally gets a young man hurt on a planet light years away, she must figure out a way to project back to save him. On her own world, back in her own body, Botima's parents have temporarily left her and her 13-year-old brother Inotu to make a living as salt shepherds. Left to their own devices, the siblings must flee across the dangerous desert when Inotu gets into trouble with a threatening cyborg bodyguard. I think that sounds really cool, but I only got it because I think it sounds cool. I don't even want to read. I don't want to read anything, but I will read this. I'll tell you how it goes. This one looks like I won't even enjoy reading it because it's just terrifying, but honestly, I don't want to see the ending, but I think it sounds good. And I remember being, like, when I went back to this comic shop today, not back, but for the first time to this comic shop, I remembered another one I went to where someone told me about this. I think I was told about this and recommended it. So when I saw it, I was just like, and look at that price. Like, comics are really cool. I think they are, but I mean, I don't really read, and I should, because if I read, I'd be able to understand things. I'd be able to see things that are not true. I'd be able to see things that are true. I'd be able to develop actual skills about writing and skills about speaking, and I would not sound like a fucked up person. Good for you. This video sucks. Why are you doing this? Because I wanted to post a video quickly. I didn't want to have to paint something right now on camera so that you can see that I paint, because I think you can see that I paint. These may not prove that I did the ones that I believe were very, very good in my eyes. I promise you I did those paintings. I know this makes it sound like I didn't because I'm so desperate to get attention for them when I was trying so hard to appear humble by not signing them back then. It wasn't even just that. I want it to be like, I didn't paint this, the universe painted this. Or I actually thought if I walked into a gallery with my signed painting and said, hey, they'd be like, fuck off, we don't like you, we don't want to sell your paintings. But if they weren't my paintings, I assumed they would go further. There was a lot of the reasons too why I didn't sign them. I thought it was classy, I guess, but it's not. It doesn't really work if you don't sign them, because then, and I remember I would be out in the street with, like, I spent like $60 or $80 on posters, got like 40 posters, some bright ones, some dark ones, and then like, just like, hey, anyone want to buy a painting? It's free unless you have money, blah, 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 blah. I also had my bell, and I was shaking it at people. It sounded like a cup of change, and I was like, hey, there's more stories to tell. But, yeah, it would be like, here's $3 for a poster you spent $1.50 on. Here's $1 for a poster you spent $1.50 on. Here, 5 free posters later, someone gives me 20 for one, or $60 for nothing because I look that pathetic. But that's not how I want to get by. Not one more day will be gone on the street. If I have anything if I have any time that I should be trying to do something with, I will be painting. But, it's just getting to the point where, like, after I got kicked out of my house, there was no peace of mind. There was no, like, centered feeling to focus into, the structure, like, the only, what would you call it? What was I saying? The only organization in my world was on the canvas, but, like, there is no peace of mind when I'm alone. I'm not alone right now. I just want you to know that, like, it's just since getting kicked out, like, she knew that this would happen. She didn't want my success. She was angry because, I kept her up at night. My mom, I kept her up. I would sing and talk, and, like, if I only had a sleep aid back then, that's the only thing I ever needed. Because honestly, when I take ZQL, just a couple sips, for like 3 days I can sleep properly, and it actually calms me down. Like there's actually less stress, and like there's actual real things I should be scared about in my life. I could document some really fucked up things that have happened, but it's just, it makes the paranoia, it makes, like, you know, the fear is no longer in my body, it's just an awareness. That's what I need. But if I were alone right now, there would be fear in my body. So I can't really be alone, and that's not fair to anyone, but okay. That's a symbol from the mind's eye. See that the 4 dots? What did I do? See this? No, never mind. That's another 4 dots. As in 2 parents, 2 babies. But I shouldn't have said that. It's a symbol that no one's going to care about because it's just a symbol. But this is like from the mind's eye. There was like an epiphany moment. And even when I was 4 or 5 years old, when I watched that, I knew what that meant, that symbol. Because no one taught me, like, overpopulation exists. I just knew it. And I guess because I was a righteous attitude little thing, I always wanted to find problems with everything. And like, it was a very easy problem to understand. So I was able to preach and be annoying my whole life. I'm telling you, 4 years old, I knew about overpopulation. Isn't that a proud moment? I didn't want you to know, it's not like anyone, like, there's other things I knew too. Like, I would think of the universe, it's like when I learned that the space between particles was nothing, I realized that that was the mind, the space between particles, and just having a way of thinking that meditates on things like that causes weird things to happen. And I don't mean that, whatever, I could talk about my bell, but we'll do that another time. Thank you. 2042.